The following program is a podcast1.com production.
From Hollywood, California, by way of the Broken Skull Ranch, this is the Steve Austin Show.
Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Now, here's Steve Austin.
All right, everybody, welcome to Steve Austin Show. I am coming to you from the mean streets of Los Angeles, California today. I'm sitting here at the Rent-A-Crib, 317 Gimmick Street. Everything continues, all the construction on the remodel next door of my house. Turns out they found a little roof leak today, and they're in the process of fixing that. I believe it will be an easy fix, and the progress will continue, and I hope they hurry, because I'd like to get back in my house sometime in the near future, but it looks like it's going to be, give or take, around April. All that stuff is going on, and I'm ready for it to finish. But other than that, we're doing pretty good over here in this rental house. But, hey, man, before I get into the rest of the open of this show, you guys know how much I appreciate you listening to this podcast twice a week, and the reason I'm able to do these shows for you free is thanks to all the great sponsors. So to make sure this podcast stays free to download and to make sure we keep the commercials to a minimum, please take a couple of minutes to fill out a short survey for me. Go to podcast1.com/mysurvey. It's short and it's completely anonymous, and will really help us get the right kind of advertisers for this show so that we can keep it free. So again, please help a brother out and take a survey at podcast1.com/mysurvey, or go to podcast1.com and click the survey banner. Anyway, hey man, I've been getting a lot of questions on my email about Hershey. Hershey the Wonder Dog is doing just fine. If you listened to the show before, you know she had walking pneumonia, and she was battling that. She's on antibiotics still. And you heard about her getting in the trash. She ate a bunch of egg yolks, and that sparked up her past bout with pancreatitis. Man, I'm happy to report that Hershey is almost completely out of the woods. The pneumonia is almost all gone. The pancreatitis has disappeared. My best friend, my prized possession, Hershey, is just doing fine. And so it's a good day here at 317 Gimmick Street. She's out of the woods. Moolah's out of her mind. That damn dog has so much energy, but she's doing fine as well. So I appreciate you asking about Hershey. And, hey, speaking about people asking about stuff, I was checking my email before I started the show, and I got an email, questions@steveaustonshow.com. Please keep sending your emails. I try to read every single one, and I answer some of them. But if you got questions or suggestions for the show, I take a lot of those to heart, so keep emailing me. But here's this question. I've answered this before, but I want to bury the hatchet on this one. It says, hey, Steve, this is Chris from Mexico. I came across this picture online with many legends, including you, Triple H, Sean Paul, etc. I was wondering if you could share either on your podcast or with me what that's about that you can remember. It just seems that y'all were having a blast, and the Undertaker with the badass look in the middle of all of you. Anything you can share, the photo is attached. I hope all is well, Steve. Christopher. Yeah, Christopher, I can elaborate on this picture. Picture is probably from, it was 97 or 98, I'm almost positive. And this is one on tour. We were over in Germany and over in the UK. Either one. I don't remember which country we were in, but it was on that tour. Because we would go to Germany for 7 days, and then we'd go to the UK for 7 days, or vice versa. And this is the back of a tour bus. And I tell you what, we were traveling with 2 tour buses. Normally it was Hills on one bus, Babies on the other bus. So, man, by looking at this, I'm thinking this is a, I don't know, this looks like it's a babyface bus. Nah, it's got to be the Hill bus. Man, everybody here flip-flopped so many times, I don't know which bus it was, but I tell you what, we was having a damn good time. Here's who's in the picture. Jerry Briscoe's front and center with a big cigar in his mouth. Jerry Briscoe is awesome. He was one of the agents back in the day. And God dang, you talk about a guy who's full of information and he's just a hoot to be around. Jerry Briscoe. Following him is Triple H. Following him is Henry O. Godwin. Then there's Kevin Nash. Then there's Undertaker, dead center. Then there's Phineas Godwin. Then there is yours truly, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Razor Ramon. The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. X-Pac, Sean Waltman, and on the bottom right, the late, great Paul Bearer. That's a circular table back there. If you see in the picture, damn near everybody's got a beer. The beers are all covered up because there's so many arms. Henry Godwin's got a bottle of Jack. We were passing that thing around. Everybody on the damn back of the bus was drinking except Triple H. only every now and then Triple H would have a drink with the boys because dude just doesn't drink, and he's into his body and his physique. So, man, we were back there. There was some other stuff going on back there. I don't remember. But, man, this was what it was like every single night. Once you got through, everybody hit the showers, everybody got their stuff, everybody got on the bus. They had a to-go meal. And, man, as soon as we got on that bus, the drinking would commence. A lot of times back in those days, those trips were anywhere from, 2 or maybe hour and a half to 7 hours long. It would all depend on where you were in which country. Some of them were quite extensive. A lot of guys would be passed out. And what we'd do, we'd just get back there, pass that bottle of whiskey around. If we drank that one, we'd pass another one around. Most of the guys were drinking beer. If you were to look in the front of the bus, there's a big container, like a plastic box, ice full of beer. Whatever the local flavor was, whichever country we traveled in, that was in the box. But we always had beer. And this was back in the party days. And wherever we were going, whether it was in either country, Germany or the UK, we had a standing agreement, some kind of a relationship with all the hotels that we were staying at. And these were all real nice hotels. But wherever we went over there, it was so cool that no matter what time we showed up, whether it was 12 midnight, 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, the bar was always open. And so most time we'd get to the destination, give or take, between 1 and 3 a.m., and the bar was open. So, man, all the guys would go put their stuff in their room, make some of them take a shower, whatever, drop your stuff off in your room, call home, and then everybody would go down to the bar to continue the mayhem. And, man, it was just, man, I don't know how many guys are in the crew. I think there's about 11 guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 11 people crowded around this table. Not everybody was in the back of the bus. Not everybody was in on the party thing. There's a lot of guys in all the seats up ahead. So, man, we probably had a crew of guys, man, probably 30, 40 strong. And I tell you what, man, we would live it up out there on the road and just have a good time. And when you wake up, a lot of guys would go to the gym. Sometimes, most time when we were overseas, I didn't go to the gym because I didn't like the gym scene over there, trying to catch a taxi or whatever to get a workout in. So, man, we'd run roughshod over there. We'd drink heavy. We'd work hard, put on a good show at the matches. And I look back at this picture, and to me, people always ask me, hey, man, you ever miss the business anymore? I said, no, man. I've been out long enough that I've got it out of my system. But I miss the guys. I miss the good times. I miss the crowds. I miss the fans. I miss stuff like that. You miss the adrenaline rush. And now you don't even miss it. You just have fond memories of it. When I look at this picture, man, I see 11 guys. And everybody there, well, Kevin Nash is kind of mad dogging the camera, but Taker's got that cool look on his face, but everybody back there is having the time of their life, living out their dream, traveling all over the world, wrestling in a squared circle. And if that wasn't what was the personification of what pro wrestling is, then I don't know what it was all about. But I appreciate your question, Chris. And if you've ever seen that picture on Twitter, that's what was going on. We was on a gig over there in Europe, having a damn good time and wrestling our ass off and putting asses in the seat. Guys were laying their stuff in, and the business was on fire. That's what it was. Hey, man, Valentine's Day is today, and I hope you ain't in the doghouse because you forgot what day it was. If you did, maybe this will help. Order yourself some Hanes with fresh IQ, and your girl will thank you. Hey, underwear is important to all of us. And at the end of a long day, our socks, undershirts, and underwear start to develop a certain aroma. Let's call it funk. And we all suffer from the funk from time to time. It's a fact of life. So that's why Hanes invented Fresh IQ advanced odor protection technology. Hanes with Fresh IQ advanced odor protection technology attacks bacteria and keeps fabric from absorbing the funk and other unpleasant aromas. That means your socks, t-shirts, and boxers smell fresher longer. So forget smartwatches and fitness trackers. This is the latest and greatest in wearable tech. The underwearable wonder of odor-controlling Hanes with Fresh IQ advanced odor protection technology. And right now you can get $15 off any order of $75 or more at Hanes.com. Just use the promo code FRESHAUSTIN. Some exclusions apply. So replace your old ratty boxer briefs, yellowed t-shirts, and mismatched socks. There has never been a better time to upgrade your obsolete undergarments with all new Fresh IQ socks, shirts, and underwear from Hanes, America's #1 underwear. Just go to Hanes.com and use the promo code FRESHAUSTIN to save $15 off your order of $75 or more. Hanes with Fresh IQ advanced odor protection technology, the smart way to stay fresh.
The Steve Austin Show. The Steve Austin Show.
Oh, talking to the man from South Texas, Rockport, Texas. His name is Ted Fowler, 361 on Twitter. Teddy, what's happening?
Dude, you should have saw me trying to adjust the mouse with my left hand. Boy, this is going to be a fun rehab. Whee!
Hey, what's the word on the street down there in Rockport? You just had surgery this morning.
Yeah, trying to, come back to life out of that. It's all good, man.
What was the technical name for the surgery you just had on your elbow?
They did an ulnar nerve transposition.
So basically, they cut about a 6 or 8 inch cut on the inside of your elbow and relocated your ulnar nerve because from the videos I watched on YouTube, it was getting dragged across that, what's that thing called? The medial condyle?
I believe so, yeah.
Condyle?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, man. They had some guy sliced open on the internet on YouTube, and every time he bent that guy's arm while he was asleep, that nerve would get dragged around that thing and putting tension on it. And so by carving out a little channel through the muscle and then overlapping that flap of skin, they sew that nerve back down after they move it, and then you should be out of harm's way. I was reading about the side effects or some of the symptoms, and it's kind of like what you were describing, like your ring finger and your little finger was kind of numb.
Yeah. Oh, dude, they're all blowed up now, real swollen, and they're 10 times more numb than when I went in. But the doctor said that was normal, and that would, probably start to wear off in about 4 or 5 days.
No, that was your right hand, right?
That's my right hand, yes, sir.
Because I was, back in your marriage days when you was married for that one time, I didn't know if that ring finger, that wedding band, made your ring finger numb on the left side.
It made the left half of my brain numb is what it made numb.
Did the ex call and say happy recovery? How you doing?
No, I think she mailed me a letter. She wouldn't even, she wouldn't use up any cell phone minutes.
So from what I read, this was about a 60 to 90 minute procedure. Tell me about your day. But first, start off with your night last night, because this is like, as long as I've known you, shoot, man, is this your first surgery?
Yeah. Since we've known each other, yeah. I mean, I had that little mishap with the table saw, but that wasn't really a surgery. That was just, sewing stuff back on. But yeah, this is my first real surgery.
Above the waist, we're not going to go into the vasectomy details again. That could be considered a major or minor surgery.
Yeah, depending on the temperature outside.
Hey, so I was talking to you this morning. You just kicked out. You're pretty coherent for everything that you've been through. So they had you sleep for probably 60 to 90 minutes. Let's get into the surgery. I want to ask you about that. But so were you nervous last night? You said you didn't sleep very well.
Oh, dude, I was just up and down all day long, just walking around and pacing, and it was like when you got to turn yourself in, to jail the next morning. You got to be there by 8 o'clock. You've got that impending doom going on. And I tried to work in the shop, and I just couldn't. I couldn't get it out of my mind. I wasn't scared, but I was, just a little tensed up, a little keyed up. The whole thing. They put you down. He may not kick out of it. And I thought, man, if I stay up and stay busy all day, I'll be tired. I got to get up at 3:30. So I had set 8 o'clock as my target time to go to bed. I went and had dinner with Mike and Kathy last night, and we ate at 5, so I couldn't eat after that, and I didn't drink anything after that. 8 o'clock comes around, and I jump in bed and in there with the dogs, and I'm thinking, I'll go right to sleep. Dude, it's 11 o'clock at night, and I'm still sitting there wide-eyed awake going, boy, this is going to be fun.
Dude, I ain't never known you in the 9 years that I've known you that you ever went to sleep at 8 p.m. And that's the thing when you always have the good intentions. Okay, I'm going to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Get plenty of sleep, get in bed. I'll just close my eyes and go to sleep. And, dude, you might as well start twiddling your thumbs because just like last night, man, I've been telling myself, okay, we're going to get up, we're going to do cardio. I don't care what happens. I'm not going to do this again tonight. I just stay up and look for stuff on YouTube or I read. All of a sudden, I look at the clock. Dude, it's midnight. I mean, it's the same old just because I can't sleep. So you're trying to do the right thing, and you were telling me about your dry out procedure. So how did that go as far as the alcohol?
You know what? I caved in about 10:30, 11 o'clock. I got up and had a little short glass of wine. I figured, hey, man, if this is what kills me, it is what it is. But I need something to take the edge off to be able to go to sleep. So a little bit of, cross my fingers, a little bit of white wine, and then get all paranoid and have to follow it down with about, 2/3 of a gallon of water to try to dilute my system because I can see walking in there and the first thing they do, is take your blood pressure and have you blow into a breathalyzer. It's like, oh, all right, you got me.
Heads up. I don't know if they'll sobriety test when you go in for surgery. Hey, to be real frank with you, the last time I got my right shoulder cut on when they did my rotator cuff, I went in for the pre-op just like you did. I told my anesthesiologist, he was a real sharp guy, and I said, dude, I done kind of cleaned up my drinking. I said, is it okay to have anything for the surgery? He goes, Steve, I said, can I have 1 or 2 glasses of wine? He goes, Steve, you can drink a whole bottle. I don't care. You're going to be just fine. So I didn't drop that tidbit of 411 on you because you were doing so good to dry out. I didn't want to instill in you the desire or the leeway to go and get juiced up. But yeah, man, you can kind of do whatever you want. But it's not like you want to go to the bar, come in at 3 a.m. all slopped up.
Oh, no. But when I went in to do my pre-surgery labs, where they take your blood and do your chest x-ray and your EKG and stuff, well, I had a couple of mixies the night before, just to calm my nerves because I didn't know what I was getting into. And, get up in the morning and have a couple of cups of coffee like I always do. And I go in there and that little girl's going to take my blood. And I'm like, well, I got to tell you, there's going to be some booze in there. Just so you know, I don't want you guys to think, hey, we've got some foreign body in his blood sample. No, that's Tennessee whiskey right there, lady.
No, but the good thing about when you get a surgery is you go through all the blood work and get everything diagnosed. I mean, it's not like a physical, but I mean, if there's some kind of blood panel or something that's out of whack, they'll let you know about it. So it's kind of a byproduct of going in for surgery. You kind of get a little bit of a 411 on what your system's doing. So it turns out you're going to be all good to go. And then they get in there and do what they got to do. So did you find out with all the x-rays and everything, they say, oh, man, we got a red flag here?
No, dude, that's just a thing. I'm supposed to go back in a week for a follow-up on this arm to make sure I don't have an infection or anything. But they took the blood work, they did an EKG, and they did a chest x-ray, and nobody came to me, not the surgeon, not the anesthesia guy. Nobody came to me and said, hey, dude, all of your stuff looks good. Now, maybe I should have asked, but I will certainly ask next Friday. I mean, when I went in there, I made crystal clear that they were operating on my right arm, and I didn't want the doctor looking at me going, well, is that my right arm or his right arm, and cut the wrong arm. I'm like, hey, if you can go ahead and make a mark on that. And they did, actually. She came in with a little Sharpie and wrote on my right arm. And I'm like, oh, good for you.
Oh, no, dude, they make it almost bulletproof these days because, I mean, they'll get charts mixed up. I mean, they'll do the damnedest things that you've ever heard of, get a chart swapped around or do the exact wrong arm. Or there have been cases when they've amputated stuff and they weren't supposed to. It was a perfectly good limb. But the thing about it is when I got my right shoulder cut on, I mean, dude, I went in there and it was right arm. Which arm were we operating on? Right arm. I'd ask them, which arm are you operating on? Right arm. I mean, so, and like you said, they label it and they get it on the chart. I mean, dude, by the time, I went home that day after I kicked out of my propofol, right arm. My wife says, what's wrong with you? Right arm.
Yeah. Well, everybody that came in, no matter what their task was, they asked my name, my date of birth, stuff like that. And then they checked it with the little wristband deal that they put on to make sure, everything was good there. And I got to take a picture of this and show it to you. I've got my ID band on my left arm, and then they put this high vis yellow band on there, and it says fall risk. Like you're at risk of falling. I'm like, you guys listen to the podcast, obviously. I mean, I didn't even have to tell you that, Yeah, it was like fall risk. I'm like, are you serious? It's like, we gotta do that if you have general anesthesia. I guess you stand up and get all lightheaded, and I'm like, I've been drinking for years, lady. I probably got this whipped.
Hey, man, I've been on some pretty good benders with you at the Broken Skull Ranch. I ain't never seen you fall. Hey, let me ask you about you were first one on the blocks. And they started cutting on you at 7 a.m. So what time did you get to the hospital?
I got to the hospital at 10 minutes after 5. Yeah, I left my house here at 4 o'clock because I woke up and it was kind of foggy. And my greatest fear was to oversleep, because staying up, not being able to sleep, I set my phone and then I set the alarm clock on my phone, and then I've got a regular alarm clock as well. So I set that 15 minutes afterwards, because I could see me rolling out of bed, at 8:30 going, boy, my arm still hurts, man, I slept through it, like the old high school days. No, I left here at 4 o'clock, got there about 10 minutes after 5, got signed in. And of course, I'm the only cat down there that doesn't have anybody there with them. You got the boyfriends, girlfriends, husband and wife, and everybody's sitting there. And, they check you in and they said, you got anybody that you want to have come back with you? And I'm like, no, just me. My people are coming, at checkout time. It's just me.
Man, if you'd let me know, if you'd have taken your laptop, I could have video Skyped you and you could just set me on the counter.
I wonder if they'd have let me.
I could have heckled the doctor while she was doing your surgery. So what was the deal like in the, did you get all nervous when they start jamming the needles in your veins, running the IV and start hooking you up?
Once they come in there, because they leave you sitting in that room for a little while and tell you, you can go ahead and change into this hospital gown. And the lady looked at me and she was like, man, I'm, need a bigger gown, a longer gown, because the other one would have been like a long T-shirt for me. And they give you these little, and I'll tell you what, what's that color? Purple.
Chartreuse?
Light purple. No, light purple. What is
Lavender.
it? Lavender, yeah, that ain't a good color on me. I'll tell you that much.
No, you had a lavender tank top on one time at the ranch. I thought it looked great on
you. No, dude. And then they give you these purple socks with these white little hearts on them that are like non-skid, non-slip, so you don't crash and burn on the floor.
Where you were a fall hazard.
Yeah, exactly. And the lady's like, hey, you can, go in there and undress and, put the robe on, put the socks on. You can keep your underwear on. I'm like, well, I'd like to take those off, to be perfectly honest with you.
Free Willy.
It's warm enough in here. I'll go ahead and take them off. No, dude, but you sit there, and I'm watching TV and propped up on the they got you in like a recliner, and I'm cool. And then all of a sudden the lady comes in to take your blood pressure, and then the other lady comes in to give you the IV, and then it kind of sets in, and it's like, man, here we go. No, but the lady that did the IV did a phenomenal job compared to the seamstress that tried to take my blood the other day. It's like, good grief. That lady swung and missed about 4 times on each arm. And I said, she was like, man, you're really making me work here. It's because you don't drink enough water. And I go, well, pick one of those veins on the back of my hand. And she goes, well, I thought they were operating on your hand. I go, no, they're operating on the elbow you're jamming. You know, like, dude, you stay away from that one. Yeah, but
dude, I'm pretty damn tough, and I've given blood. I just dropped off some blood the other day at the blood drive that I went to. And then I just had my blood work done the other day, just because I always get monitored about twice a year. As tough as I was allegedly proposed as the toughest SOB in the history of WWF, I don't mind them shoving those things in my arm. I just don't watch while they're doing it.
Oh, I don't watch either, you know, but the lady, you can feel her stick it in and turn it and push it and pull it. And she's like, you know, man, your veins are rolling around inside of your arm. Well, aren't they supposed to? I mean, shouldn't they be kind of pliable?
That's like that one time I went to the blood drive about 4 months ago, and I talked about it on the podcast when I got my car towed. Man, that lady hit me about 4 or 5 times, and she says, I'm going to have to switch hands or switch arms. I said, just switch. Just find a vein that works. And I was mad because normally I got pretty good vascularity, but they have those damn hospitals cranked up so cold, all your veins go in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I'm proud I got some pretty good water hoses going, and you can't find one?
Ask the lady, say, hey, do you mind if I do a couple of burpees or push-ups or something real quick, try to get a little pump here so you can find it? It's like, good Lord.
Hey, so they get the IV run, didn't you? What'd your anesthesiologist come talk to you about? Was he or she cool? Were they comfortable with him?
Oh, dude, he was real cool. Kind of an older cat. He comes walking in and he's, hey, good morning. How are you doing? I'm like, dude, a better question is, how was your weekend? How are you doing? You and the wife getting along all right? Everything good at the house? You're the important player here, not me. Yeah, no, dude. But he just, he runs down my medical history, and I'm going, I've got no heart disease, no diabetes, no lung cancer, none of that stuff. And he was cool with the fact that I quit smoking so long ago. That was good. Man, my blood pressure when they first took it was like 160 over 100. And I'm like, they said you're a little stressed, and I said, yeah, just a bit, just a bit.
Boy, you don't have to have a medical degree to know that.
Yeah, man, it's that whole.
I hate when I go into any kind of thing, whether it's a doctor setting or whatever, to get blood, because you always take your blood pressure, and God dang, they start pumping that thing up, and when they start pumping it up and just like ringing tight, because they already sense that it's high, and it comes back like $180 over $120. I said, man, your blood pressure's really high. I said, hey, normally it's $138 over 76. I said, I'm just a little stressed here, and plus LA traffic that I just went through, because if your blood pressure's too high, they won't cut on you, or they won't even let you give blood.
You know what? I said something to the surgeon, Dr. Ham, and I mean, she was Showtime, man. She was great. And, I said, hey, does that concern you? And she's like, no, you look at your settings. 160 is not that big a deal. When they did my blood work, they tested me, and I was about 137 over 80. I do remember that part. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, yeah, try owning a construction company in Rockport. That'll get your blood pressure up. It's like, all right. Yeah, and then once the cutting was done and we go back into the recovery room, they've got that thing that automatically takes your BP. And, of course, I'm looking at it all the time, and it's, down to 140, 138. Now that it's over, I've kind of leveled off. So that was cool.
So what was the last thing you remembered? Because that anesthesiologist will always have some kind of line, or you're about to go to sleep, or good night, and all of a sudden you're thinking, oh man, I feel good, I'm chill, and they give you a little dose of that. I don't know what they shoot in that thing before they hit you with the propofol, but it's some good stuff.
Oh, dude, I could go for a bottle of it. Yeah, I'd like to have one here at the house. Just touch on it every once in a while. Like a little Johnny Walker Blue Label. It's nothing you want to have every night, but it's nice to, take a snort every now and then.
Boy, did you give up drinking?
Yeah. Yeah. You know me, man. I mean, I'm always joking and laughing and cutting up and trying to keep everybody laughing. Well, the nurse is wheeling me into the operating room, and they give you this little hairnet deal. to put over your hair. And and I was thinking about you. I was like, dude, you got to wear one, when they roll you in there. But you come up to this red line, and the lady says, hey man, now, I got to put the hairnet on you. And I said, okay. And I forget what she said. And I go, hey sister, you know what, man? At 50 years old, I'm just glad to have a full head of hair. I don't care what color it turns, just as long as it stays in. I don't want to wake up one morning and sit up in bed and have it all stuck to the pillow because it all fell out. So she's rolling as she's pushing me into the operating room. And there's the little table with the things for your arms to stick out on, and there's the anesthesiologist, and he's, hey, blah, blah, blah. They're talking, and in comes the surgical nurse, which is this guy, and he's like, all right, big boy, let's stand up. Stand up, turn around, lay down. He covers me up with a warm blanket, and the anesthesiologist, I hear him go, well, here comes the good stuff. And I'm sitting there going, man, this blanket is nice and toasty and everything. Of course, it only goes to about mid-shin on me because my feet are hanging over the table because I'm so tall. And I remember him saying to the other nurse, go get another blanket. Next thing I know, I'm sitting up in the recovery room, and the nurse says, can I get you something? And I said, I want a coffee with cream and 2 sugars. and me, and I said, hey, if anybody's making a run to Starbucks, I'd go for a blueberry muffin, and I'm buying because I ain't eating in about 13 hours. No, dude, but they hit you with that stuff, and it is lights out.
I need to get that home kit, man. I can't sleep worth a damn. I woke up last night tossing and turning. Well, the same thing every night. I just don't sleep worth a damn. Hell, I think I need to get another surgery just so I can get a good couple hours sleep. So you wake up, they get you a cup of coffee. By the time you'd call me, you'd already been at the house, you was at the house.
Yeah.
So what's the protocol for healing up? Because from what I was reading on YouTube and looking at, you'll be moving that thing, tomorrow, the next day.
Yeah, they want me moving it tomorrow. I've got to keep this compression wrap on it for a week. They sent me home with, some type of bandage that's already got, like Neosporin Extra or whatever on the inside of it. Changed the dressing out in a week. Said I can shower in a day or two, just, keep the wrap dry. But, go back to normal-ish, business tomorrow, start moving it around.
Yeah, but, a lot of times you got a hammer in your hand. You ain't supposed to be doing nothing physical with that. What's the story? You can oversee stuff or be the head contractor, but you ain't like you'll be doing nothing physical.
No, dude, I won't be doing anything physical with that arm for probably... realistically, probably 3 weeks, and then it'll be just, real light duty. Because that hand is swollen up, and I got a real good idea that it's going to start hurting later because at 10 o'clock, I noticed that that arm started to hurt a little bit, and they had me in a sling, and I said to the nurse, I said, hey, can I get out of this sling just to straighten that arm out because it's feeling like it's starting to stiffen up? And she goes, well, here, let's try this pain pill first. And I don't know what it was she gave me, but it was a white pain pill. Shotgun that with a glass of water. A couple minutes later, dude, I'm right as rain.
I'm not advocating. No more. I would only tell you this, but if you put about two shots of Jack behind that. Prior experience for people I've heard, I can't vouch for it myself. What kind of pain pills did they give you? Did they give you a prescription?
Yeah. What is it, hydrocodone or?
Yeah, they gave you some bikes. Good.
Yeah. And I went to Weasel, dropped me off. Well, he took me to Jerry's pharmacy, our local pharmacist, and Jerry's in there, and he's seen me before, and he says, hey man, take this with a full stomach. It's liable to make you a little queasy, and you can't drink alcohol.
No, that's false.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, dude, it really don't hurt that bad.
Yeah.
So a happy hour at my place usually starts about 6:30, 7 o'clock. So I figure if I fire one down at 4, it should be on the way down by the time the drinking lamp is lit.
And I'm not telling you to fire one down to 4, but I mean, dude, yeah, they're going standard medical protocol procedure.
Yeah.
So it ain't like you're gonna get all tanked up anyway. But that ain't no. I guess it's their job. Well, I mean, in a perfect world, that would be what it is. But yeah, you'll be fine. Yeah, don't go strung out and start doing the wrestler dosages.
Yeah, dude, I'm going to grab a handful of those and a couple of Jack and Cokes and jump on that motorcycle and see what I can go tear up in the middle of the night. See if I can drive it off another bar ditch.
So, you got some projects on the way?
Yeah. The people with the remodel, Hunter and Leslie, they're super cool. I got the electrician started tomorrow, and I told them I was going to, push the project back a couple of weeks because I don't want to push it and get to a spot where I've got to get active, to fix something and hurt my arm again. And they're totally understanding. They're very cool. I mean, they waited the whole deer season for me to come back, and now they got to wait another month while I'm on the mend here. So they're very cool. And dude, now that I've been back home, phone's ringing off the hook,
Of course, it's always like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, hey,
I got to ask you another question about the the medical gown. What do they call that? Mm-hmm. The nightgown thing they give you, because it goes on the front. You got to tie it in the back. Dude, my right elbow doesn't straighten out, and I can't even put my arms behind my back. If I was to get arrested, like they used to arrest me on Monday Night Raw every other week, they normally use double cuffs because I'm claustrophobic and I can't stick my arms back that far. So going back to the surgery gown, every time they put one of those sumbitches on me, my big fat white ass is hanging out the back, and I got to back up to someone. Hey man, can you help me tie this? How'd you tie that sapsucker?
They modified it now because one string hangs right off your belly button, and then the other one is around the backside. So you kind of tie it off to your hip. You pull it around you and tie it off your hip. So it's actually a piece of cake.
Okay, I always felt like a damn idiot. I'm backing my hairy ass up to it's a person of the opposite sex. Hey, can you give me a hand here? It's like, anyway, it is what it is. Everybody's got a to-do list. Drop off the dry cleaning, pick up some milk. Here's an idea. Let's save hundreds of dollars on car insurance. And the good thing is you don't have to drop off or pick up anything. All you have to do is go to geico.com, and in 15 minutes you could be saving 15% or more on car insurance. Extra money in your pocket? It just may be the most rewarding to-do you do today. If you're in the market for a car, then you need to check out TrueCar.com and the TrueCar app. TrueCar gives you pricing information you need to feel confident about your purchase. When you register at TrueCar, you'll see what other people in your local market paid for the car you want. From there, you can connect with a local TrueCar certified dealer and enjoy a more confident car buying experience. TrueCar shows you real pricing on actual inventory, so you see competitive pricing offered to you by TrueCar certified dealers for vehicles that are actually on their lots. TrueCar makes car buying easy, no matter if you're looking for a brand new or a used vehicle. There are over 500,000 pre-owned vehicles available from TrueCar certified dealers nationwide, and there are over 13,000 TrueCar certified dealers. And over 2 million cars have been sold to TrueCar users by the TrueCar certified dealer network. TrueCar users save an average of over $3,000 off MSRP. So when you're ready to buy a new or used car, visit TrueCar.com or download the TrueCar app to enjoy a better car buying experience. Some features not available in all states.
This is the Steve Austin Show.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. You started watching it. I finished watching it. I didn't see all the singles matches. I caught the Elimination Chamber. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the WWE pay-per-view, the Elimination Chamber, stop listening to the podcast for about 5 minutes. God dang, I was wondering who was going to win that thing, heading into WrestleMania, going in as a champion. Interesting contestants in this thing, and all the guys put on a hell of a match. Those things, you ever watch those Elimination Chamber pay-per-views, Teddy? Because I know you didn't get a chance to the main event on this one.
No. This is the first one that I've watched, and I only saw the first match. Becky Lynch.
Yeah, and they're pretty brutal. I mean, just because you got the chain link on the outside, you got the chambers, you get timed coming out, you get two guys start, and then every 5 minutes someone comes into the ring. Then it's a process of elimination. So there's a lot of thinking going on. There's a few bells and whistles to play with, but I mean, everything out there were pretty much is pretty brutal. A couple of guys took some great bumps, told some good stories. Just watching it for what it was, I really enjoyed it. I thought the guys put on a hell of a damn match, and it turns out that Bray Wyatt ended up taking it over AJ Styles, and before that he had hit John Cena with his sister Abigail, and the other guys had gotten eliminated. Everybody did a real fine job, but I think it was a well-needed win for Bray Wyatt. He goes into WrestleMania, or he's on the road to WrestleMania right now, is the WWE champion. And if he ends up facing Randy Orton, who is kind of now part of his little deal, that'll be an interesting setup. But I don't know if you're going to end up finishing the Elimination Chamber. Well, you got enough time on your hands. So
yeah,
I would encourage you to watch it. I thought it was a pretty damn good match. There will be some who will nitpick it to death and say, oh, they didn't write it very good, or it could have been this, could have been that. I simply watched it for what it was and took it for what it was. Those are tough matches to work, and I thought the guys did a damn good job in it.
Yeah, dude, they haven't brought out the actual chamber yet. Like I said, I just barely turned it on and saw Becky Lynch and who's the James woman?
Mickie James.
Mickie James, yeah,
she's a hell of a worker.
Yeah. I mean, it's I like her. I mean, a little not old school, but she's a seasoned. A seasoned wrestler and pretty athletic,
No, she was always one of the best women's workers. I mean, she kind of ahead of her time. Of course, Becky Lynch is a damn good worker. So, I mean, they should have I didn't see that match because I caught the match in progress. Hadn't watched it from the beginning, so I hadn't seen that. But, no. I mean, you got both ladies out there that are damn good workers, so they should have had a hell of a match. Hey, man, what's the story with the Broken Skull Ranch? Have you been down there lately? Because I'm trying to plan a trip to get back down there, and man, the last time we were there last year was give or take March heading into April, and it was right before they started dropping their horns. And
right.
Man, me and Kristen, because you or somebody else is always out there finding all the shed horns. When do they drop their horns?
Mid to the end of March.
Boy, yeah, great.
You'll start, yeah.
Because I'm planning on going down there, and I'm trying to get down there before then on another trip just to get some business done and take a look at the ranch and just enjoy it for a little bit, try to get out of Los Angeles. But I want to get down there and get shed horn. And there's a particular set of horns that you and I would both like to find.
Yep.
Well, there's a bunch of horns out there, and we know where those deer have been. So, man, dude, I'm going to come down there with my snake boots. I'm going to take my Carhartt jacket, and for once, I'm bringing a pair of pants so I can get in the brush and... God dang, I'm gonna get one of those judges. Get me a little shotgun pistol so I can handle those rattlesnakes. But I'm gonna find me some damn sheds, and there's a couple in particular that I really want to find.
Well, dude, I found a suit of armor in a thrift store up here, so I'm gonna be leading the way. I'll be 3 or 4 steps in front of you. I'll need you behind me with WD-40. Keep that thing loosened up,
dude. Yeah, I'm gonna spray you down with the water hose. As much as it's been raining down there, I might need a scuba suit and a pair of flippers.
Oh, dude, it's been raining at the ranch, but it ain't rained here in Rockport. I mean, I told you the other night about, my fish dying and the deal with the dog. That pond of mine is super duper low, and it's supposed to rain tonight. Maybe an inch or two of rain, but it's been pretty dry.
Dude, what kind of fish you got in that pond?
Largemouth bass.
So, man, I remember a couple of years ago when we were in a drought in South Texas, and all of our tanks dried out there, and we had carp out there, we had alligator gars, we had some catfish out there. There was a couple of bass, not too many. And, dude, it was the saddest thing because all those fish out there flopping around, and there was so much silt at the bottom of those tanks, it was like quicksand. So it's not like, that silt was about, anywhere from 6 to 8 feet deep. So anyway, after everything all dried out, we went in there with the excavator and went down to a hard clay bottom, and now those things hold water like a sieve. So, but it's not like you can just walk out there and save the fish. Hey, let's go take them down and put them in the river. Yeah, the river was dried up too. So there's nothing you can do for those things. So they're sitting there watching your pond. I mean, you go out there with the water hose. Can you fill it up? Go give them CPR? They're just going to meet their demise.
Well, dude, here's the thing. Because of where I live, I do not have city water, so I'm pulling off of a water well. And my pond doesn't really get any runoff. It rises and flows with the level of the groundwater and, whatever rain falls in it. So if I turn the garden hose on, I run the risk of burning up the pump that provides water to the house, or God forbid, I run that well dry. You know what I mean? So I like to fish. Ain't nothing against them, but when it comes down to them or me, I just as soon have water here at the house, and wish those guys the best of luck. It's not it's not the best thing to happen, but man, what do you do? That's nature doing its thing.
Hey, man, so who's taking care of the dogs? You got those two crazy-ass German short-haired retrievers that are awesome dogs. They're very loving, but they're high energy. And then Cassie, your chocolate lab, is about 100 pounds. She's going to jump on your ass. Who's taking care of your dogs?
Dude, you started off with them two crazy ass, and I thought you were talking about the two girls here in Rockport that are taking care of my dogs.
Talking about your dogs.
No, I got one little kooky bird coming over tonight to feed them. The girl from the hardware store, and then young lady from Amy from the feed store. I think she's coming over tomorrow. I told her if I didn't feel up to it, I'd have her come over. But I got one coming tonight to do the feeding. They're going to stay outside for a while. Until I get this thing. In some semblance of order, because one of those idiots would jump on that thing, and that would tear it right there.
What's the story for the menu? I mean, obviously, if you can move that arm around, you can make some sandwiches. Did them people make you some food or what?
Yeah, they're bringing over a bunch of stuff later on, Mike and Kathy. And before the surgery, I had gone to the grocery store and got, some fixings, make sandwiches and salads. Some soup stuff, frozen things of pasta. So, it's just easy, easy one-arm meals, so to speak. Nothing that's too taxing, too crazy.
Teddy, I'm sitting here flipping on the internet. Did you watch the Grammys last night?
No, dude, I'm doing this Apple TV deal, so I'm not watching network TV anymore. Yeah. Who made an ass of themselves last night?
No, nobody made an ass. Well, I didn't watch. I'm just reading the headlines. And I guess Adele won the album of the year, and some people thought it should have been Beyonce for album of the year. I don't know. So that's the only two. That was, and I think the thing is, Adele thought Beyonce should have won it too, so she broke her trophy in two and gave half of it to Beyonce.
Did she really?
Well.
Good Lord.
It'd be like the first time I won that world championship from Shawn Michaels. Man, I really think you ought to be the champion, so I'm going to split this thing in two with you.
Yeah, why don't you keep the belt and give him the box that it came in. So there you go.
No.
Nobody chased Kanye across the stage with a butterfly net?
I don't even think he was in attendance. But all the award shows have gotten so out of hand with people want to use those things for a chance to spout their political opinions. I'm just totally tuned out, and they just kind of all turn into just a grandstanding train wreck. So I don't really pay attention to them too much. I just saw when I was reading the internet this morning, drinking my cups of coffee, get worked up, drinking my cups. I just turned on the computer this morning while I was trying to wake up, drinking my coffee prior to cardio to see what was going on in the world, and I guess that's about the biggest thing that came out of it.
I do. There's those people. I get everybody is entitled to their opinion. I get it. And everybody's entitled to voice their opinion. I get that too, the whole freedom of speech thing. But when you use those shows as a platform, a springboard to get your opinion out there like it matters any more than the regular guy walking down the street sitting at a cafe talking to his friends, that's the part that irritates me. You know what I mean? Meryl Streep doing her thing, Ben Affleck, whoever gets up and starts spouting off, hey dude, they let you in this country, they can let you out too.
God dang. What else going on down there in South Texas, Teddy?
Dude, you know what happens on Monday night? You know what's on TV besides Raw?
What?
The Bachelor.
Oh. Dude, you told me you were watching The Bachelor last week. I thought you were ribbing me. Is this a shoot?
This is a shoot. Remember, I was giving you grief because you and Kristen were watching it, and I'm like, dude, really? You might.
Dude, that used to be appointment television for myself and Christian. You got to have a couple shows that you watch with your significant other if you have a significant other. So we would watch The Bachelor and we would watch Dancing with the Stars. Now, in defense of myself, way back in the day, I haven't watched either show in about 4 or 5 years because back in the day they were pretty good. But nowadays the producers try to spin things so hard. It's like when the dude shows up in an airplane to some remote island after he got kicked off the week before, and like nobody knew this cat was coming back, but they've got some television time allocated to that storyline, and there he conveniently is, and he knows where the girl or the guy is, whoever it is, trying to plead their case and can't believe they got kicked off. It's like, dude, when you start messing with the formula and jacking it up so hard, it's like, you had me for a little bit. It was pretty enjoyable, and then the producers got greedy, tried to manipulate way too many things. I just had to tune out. So what in the wide world of sports spurned you to start watching The Bachelor after you used to make fun of me because I no longer watch the show?
Dude, I started rolling through that Apple TV deal, and I came across it, and I looked at one of the clips, and I was like, man, that girl's pretty shiny. She'd hunt, she'd work. So I played it, and I was like, look at this train wreck. I mean, the girl, big crocodile tears and, just heartbroken. Know this guy for 6 weeks or whatever. And I was like, oh, dude, I got to watch first one of these, And I don't want to throw the guy into the grease, but what is it, season 20 or 21 or whatever? It's a dude that I think this is third or fourth time, where he got kicked off. Being one of the choices, and now he's the head knocker. Now he's doing the choosing. Dude, it's beautiful. I mean, this guy's he's cutthroat, man. It is solid. He had me until he started crying, and then that kind of ruined it for me. But, I watch these girls and they're like, I've been here the whole time and I haven't gone on a one-on-one date with him, and I don't think he notices me. And I'm like, you're really gonna cry over this, dude? I'm hooked. I can't turn away. It's like it's like a train wreck, man. I'm one of the guys there with my iPhone videoing all of it, going, oh, look at this. Yeah, dude, and I'm chuckling. I'm sitting in my living room by myself, laughing out loud, making a few, off the cuff comments to the participants. But damn, they're good looking chicks, I'll tell you.
Man, I'll tell you, when we used to live in Malibu, man, this is going back over 10 years ago. Well, like you said, it's been around for 20 some odd seasons. So when we used to live in Malibu, up, Canaan Dune Road, that mansion that I don't know if they still film it at, but they filmed it for years, and we watched that house being built the whole time. So, man, it's going to be a pretty neat structure. And then all these years later, they started filming The Bachelor there. And it was just right down the road. It's probably, 5 or 6 miles from my old crib. It was in a better neighborhood than I was at, but boy, that'd have been something if I'd have been living next to the Bachelor crib. Could have snuck over there and maybe corrupted a few things.
I'd have come out to L.A. more than once a decade. You'd wake up one morning to step outside and get the newspaper. I'd be out in front in a pop-up tent.
Teddy, I got a great idea for you. I've got some connections out here in Los Angeles, being a global icon and a national treasure. What's that? Pull a few strings. You send in like an audition thing, your resume. You're the contractor. You're from Rockport, Texas, and you build things, and your passions are the outdoor life, and you're just looking for a girl that can enjoy a simple living, and you go on the show, on The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, whichever one the girls are on. What do you think about that?
Dude, I'm down with that. You know me, I'm always up for an adventure. It's too bad we can't do it now. I could play the gimp. I got bad arm, you know.
Yeah.
Honey, could you cut my steak for me, please?
Yeah, but here's the deal. Like, they'll always have them, and here's another thing where the producers got in too much. Like, they'll have, everybody arrives in a car, and the guy or the girl, whatever, this bachelor, bachelorette, the guy or the girl stands there, and there's welcome everybody into the mansion, and then you'll have the idiot or whoever come in on I would just say for a skateboard or walking on their hands or just doing something stupid, and that's how they make their entrance, or saying something, some off the wall statement. So it's like, the producers are telling them, hey man, this is your gig, you're the so and so, and is there a heel on this particular season?
Yeah, dude, there's this little blonde girl that comes across real ditzy. Nice little figure on her. I think she's from Florida, but easy to look at, and the guy gravitated to her. Plus, she realizes, what guys are, what they think with, so she's exploiting that. Well, when she got the first rose, they were doing another rose ceremony. Hell, she stayed in her room and slept. She was like, hell, I got my rose. Ain't no reason for me to get there and, see who the competition is. So, of course, all the other girls are bad-mouthing her and, so they're making her out to be the heel. And then they do this role-playing photo shoot where, these girls dress up as a nurse and one dresses up as a cave woman. Well, hell, that little blonde comes out, and I think she was a summer bride or something like that, and they're in the pool doing the photo shoot. This chick goes running in there and tears her top off and jumps in the water, and I'm fully for. I mean, I'm fully in support of that type of activity. But, of course, all of the other, the morality commandos are sitting there going, well, she can't do that, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, the producers are, spinning her up to be the bad guy. And she kind of, just sits there and bats her eyes at the guy. And he's sitting there going, hello. Yeah, so it's.
But they'll also have that, like, she'll be in there grinding everybody gears, stirring the pot, and then they'll have the sad sack person, and like you said, the one that's moping around because it can't get no one-on-one time. Yeah, dude, it just got to be too much for me. Back in the day, it was pretty damn good. These days, I had to tune it off.
Oh, dude, he offered a rose to one of those broads, and she turned it down. He was like, Fiona or whatever her name was. He's like, all doughy-eyed, and got his frosted hairdo and all that stuff. He says, hey, will you accept this rose from me? And she goes, no. Can I talk to you for just a minute? And then they kind of go off screen, and she's like, look, I'm just not feeling this. I'm going to excuse myself, and walks out. And he's like, well, damn. And I'm going, happened? Yeah, that actually happened. She said no and walked off. And I'm like, dude, somebody just got to buy. You got an extra one that was on the bubble. Now you can get another week out of her.
Well, did Chris Harrison have to come out and explain that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, and first of all, to digress a second, they're potential brides, not broads.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so then...
I don't spell so well.
You say potato, I say potato.
That's the drugs. Sorry.
It's the drug speaking. It's always funny. They're doing the rose ceremony, and all of a sudden there's either two potential brides or two potential grooms, depending on which season it is. And of course, Chris Harrison has to come back. All right, as you know, there's only one rose left. There's two of you, whatever the verbiage is. But it's like, come on, Chris. We've been watching this shit for 20-something years. We see that there's two of them. We know that there's one rose. We know that one's going to hit the highway and one's going to stay in the crib. Okay, so knock off of the overdramatic stuff.
Yeah, dude. If you're trying to fill time, come up with a different angle. You know what I mean? Don't beat the obvious. Get a different twist on it. Yeah. Well, they had the last 2-on-1, that hot little blonde girl and another girl at the rose ceremony. He's talking to the brunette, and she hates the blonde girl, And he's talking to her the whole time, and he's got the rose in his hand, and all of a sudden he turns around and he looks at the blonde girl and he goes, "Will you accept this rose from me?" And boy, she gets a big old grin on her face like a Cheshire cat, grabs that rose and gives him a hug, and you know she's looking at that other chick like going, "Ha!" Thumbing her nose. So he says, "Hey, let me walk you out, do the walk of shame." He walks her outside. And, of course, you see her stumbling, staggering around outside, getting all huffy. The blonde and the bachelor are sitting there having a, candlelit meal, couple of drinks. She's ecstatic because she got picked. What do you think happens? The door, opens up. Here comes the latest loser. She comes in, and the blonde just rolls her eyes, and she's like, "Oh, dude, are you serious? You lost. Go." And she's like, "Can I talk to you outside?" And, of course, he's got to get up and go outside and listen to her, vent. It was like, yeah, dude.
Yeah, but it's like where it's either the girl in the back of the car or the guy. It seemed funny when it's the guys in the back of the car, and man, they really thought it was love. They thought this was going to be their soulmate, and they're crying their eyes out on the way out. And of course, the camera's right there, and the dude's spinning her up or him up, and they're pouring out their heart and soul. And I mean, they're just devastated that they didn't get picked. All the while, knowing what the hell kind of scenario they're putting themselves in.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, did you really, get that emotionally involved with a guy? All right, if that's your soulmate, what's his social security number? If you're that tight with him, it's like, dude, come on. Yeah, but I love it, man. I love it because it's, that's every girl that I, fell in love with when I was a junior in high school that broke my little pea-picking heart. Now I get to sit back and watch them cry.
So what are you doing? Are you watching this after Raw, during Raw? Which one are you DVRing?
Oh, dude, I watch Raw on the network because I bailed on Dish TV. I no longer have Dish TV. Yeah, so I stay. Man, I binge watched all of The Bachelor. And now I'm back to, waiting for this episode today. So I'll watch Raw tonight and then finish up with a good chuckle with The Bachelor.
Hey, man, did you watch The Walking Dead last night?
No, dude. You know what? I wasn't really that hot on The Walking Dead. Now, you guys were spot on with Breaking Bad. I'll give you that. I watched a few seasons of The Walking Dead. But it just kind of lost its flavor with me. Now I got a couple new ones off Apple TV that I'm watching. Taboo, and I already watched all of Hell on Wheels, and then I just started season 1 of The Royals about the royal family. That's pretty funny.
Man, I tell you what, we started rewatching Breaking Bad because it's been so long, and right now we're down in the middle of season 2, and when you rewatch it, you see so many things that you didn't see before, or you can see because you've seen the story once. And there's a lot of stuff that you won't even remember. And it's like, oh man, I can't even remember this. All right, now I see what his character is doing here and how he feels, or where his character ends up going. Like the one time when Walter walks into Tuco's office, or where he's hanging out, where he does his dealings at, and he blows that place up. And he has that bag of money, and he goes back to that piece of shit Pontiac, what's it, Aztec? Whatever it is. It's one of the worst SUVs ever invented. And he has this power rush. And it's the first time he's starting to get his mojo back. And he just has this adrenaline rush. And it's just, Bryan Cranston, whatever his name is, does a hell of a job in acting. And the whole cast does. But there's just those key moments you start to see, okay, man, this character is really starting to change over here. And he's starting to embrace the dark side when, he's a straight-up chemistry teacher. He's only doing this to take care of his family. And now we're at the part where, spoiler alert if you ain't ever watched Breaking Bad, where his wife Skylar's getting a job back there with Beneke, dude she had an affair with, and now she's starting to get the hots for him, things are about to go south there. Walt has been kind of, on a different planet doing all his scheming. So, man, we're enjoying the hell out of Breaking Bad. But, oh, man, Walking Dead, we had to watch, we binge watched the last season, and we had to watch the season before that to catch up to remember everything. But yeah, I guess it ain't for everybody. Not everybody's into the zombie thing, but the Breaking Bad is just premier. And I think Walking Dead, ooh, man, it's just a close second, but I'm digging it. And so we got that DVR'd, and we'll watch that. I'll probably watch Raw tomorrow, see where they go with the Elimination Chamber storylines.
Now, see, I would have to rewatch all of Walking Dead again because I just didn't. It's been so long, and I didn't commit it to memory. I couldn't pick up in any season other than season 1. I'd have to start it all over again. Now, I did rewatch Better Call Saul. And dude, you're absolutely right. I watched that right after I watched Breaking Bad. And then to rewatch it, you pick up all of those things that at the first go you missed, and I'm about to restart Breaking Bad because I really like that.
Man, we were watching the season last night, and last night's episode was when Saul gets introduced. And so, did you watch Better Call Saul, the series?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it was great. So now, they get introduced to him because, he's about to teach them the business side of being a criminal.
Right.
Because Walter White, as smart as he is with the chemistry, he's starting to get that mean streak. But other than that, he don't know shit about, running a crime gang.
Yeah. What to do with all the money and everything.
Yeah. So it's good stuff. Well, what's up next? You just going to chill out for the rest of the day or what?
Yeah, Mike and Kathy are coming over here in a little while. They're going to bring me, a bunch of food. But I'm just chilling. I got ice packs all over my arm right now. I got it propped up on a couple of pillows here at the desk. Just going to, chill out and watch TV. Not really much can do.
Well, any words of wisdom before we part?
Dude, for the first time ever, I'm at a blank.
E equals MC squared, Teddy. Never forget that. Keep your feet on the ground. Keep reaching for the stars.
I'll tell you what. After you have your arm operated on, if you hang it down by your hip for too long, it starts to swell.
Keep it elevated.
Yeah, no kidding.
Teddy, it's good checking up with you. Take care of that arm, and I'll call you in a couple of days.
All right, man. Sounds good.
All right, everybody, give me the go-home cue. Time to wrap up this podcast and ride off into the sunset. Before I do, I want to remind you, coming up this Thursday on the Unleashed Show, I continue part 2 of my conversation with Paul Roma. Looking forward to getting my other part of my conversation with him. Good time talking to him. Hey, got to give you guys something to watch. I'm going to recommend you go to the WWE Network and check out Elimination Chamber. I still got to watch the singles matches, but I very much enjoyed the Elimination Chamber. I thought all the guys did a good job. It was fun to see Bray Wyatt go over, ends up as the WWE World Champion, heading into Mania. Is he going to face Randy Orton? All the pieces are still on the chessboard, so it'll be interesting to see where they move the chess pieces heading into the biggest event of the year down there in Orlando. So check out the Elimination Chamber on WWE Network. Hey, all them shirts you saw me wear on this last season of Broken Skull Challenge, they're at ProWrestlingTees.com/Steve Austin. All the badass Broken Skull Ranch are right there. And if you're looking for a damn good IPA, I got one. It's called Steve Austin's Broken Skull IPA. It's from El Segundo Brewing. You can order it at Whole Foods. You can buy it at Whole Foods and Total Wines if you live in California, or you can order it online at InsideTheCellar.com or BrokenSkullRanch.com. Hey, you can find everything that's Steve Austin at BrokenSkullRanch.com, including the Cold Steel Broken Skull knife. And the Working Man knife is about to come out, I do believe. And if you want the best price on the baddest knife on the planet, go to Amazon. $75 on Amazon, and use my links when you go. All of my Amazon links are at podcast1.com. click on the Killer Deals button in the top right corner of the page and then hit the Steve Austin Show button. I got Amazon links for USA, UK, and Canada. If you use my Amazon links whenever you're doing any online shopping, Amazon will kick back a few bucks to the podcast. It don't cost you nothing extra. Ain't no hidden fees or charges. You just buy whatever you wanted to buy and help out the podcast in the process. If you bookmark it, you can find it one step. Makes it a lot easier on yourself. Hey, 60-second AP News headlines are coming up next. Until next time, my name is Steve Austin, and I will catch your ass down the road.
Download new episodes of The Steve Austin Show every Tuesday at podcastone.com. That's podcastone.com.
I want to say thank you to Drop Stop, one of the great sponsors of this show. Drop Stop is the original patented seat gap filler, as seen on TV's Shark Tank. Get the original Drop Stop at buydropstop.com and use code STEVE for 2 free gifts and free shipping. Stay tuned for the latest AP News headlines from Podcast One right after this.
The Angry President. I'm Rita Foley with an AP News Minute. We've learned that President Trump was seething when he fired FBI Director James Comey. He felt Comey let the FBI's Russia investigation play out in the press, we're told. Former Trump campaign advisor Roger Stone tells the Today Show this morning the Trump presidential campaign did not collude with Moscow.
The idea of Russian collusion is a canard. It's a falsehood.
Earlier on the Today Show, White House Deputy Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders was asked about a line in the president's termination letter to Comey that read, "I greatly appreciate you informing me on 3 separate occasions that I am not under investigation." Some have called that statement into question. Sanders was asked about it.
Look, I'm not sure on the reasoning behind that exact part being in there, but I do know I spoke to the president directly, and he said that those moments and conversations did take place.
I'm Rita Foley.